Hello, welcome to my channel. So today we're just going to be doing some unpopular K-pop opinions because I need views. Last time I was just dipping my toes in the water, but with each and every video I'm going to try and get more and more honest. So with that being said, let's get started. My first opinion is the Lee sisters lack stage presence. For anyone that doesn't know, that is Chae from Itzy and her sister who was from IZ*ONE. I mostly see this problem with Chae, but her older sister does it sometimes as well. Both of them seem to do very one-note facials almost, unless it's their part. From the neck down, I can see either one of them becoming one of the better dancers for 4th gen. However, facials is a part of the performance. I know this expression is very common among idols. However, it seems like they've been dancing for a very long time, and I would expect their performance level to match that. People are debating on whether K-pop is becoming too westernized. And honestly, K-pop has always followed some trends from the Western media. However, I feel like it hits them, I would say maybe 2 and 3 years later. But as of recent, I think they're now like catching up. Hence the disco trend that was happening after Say So and Future Nostalgia. With that being said, K-pop was technically always westernized. I think this argument really derives from the fact that some K-pop companies are heavily trying to push their groups in the Western market in order to accumulate more fans, which in turn will give them more money. Boy groups are boring me to death. The only interesting boy groups I can think of are honestly BTS and Ateez. Who knows, maybe it's because I stan too many girl groups. What is the point in lip singing if you are not going to go as hard as Ateez or Itzy? Some groups have wildly easy choreography and still choose to lip sync, which blows me because they trained for this. This opinion is mostly directed at girl groups though. 3rd gen versus 4th gen. Realistically speaking, I don't see any of the 4th gen groups getting as big as 3rd gen is currently unless all those big 3rd gen groups disband. It looks like Redvelvet, it's still up in the air. Twice more than likely will end up disbanding. BP and BTS are the last 2 giants, and there's really no telling what they'll do next. Out of the big 3, I think SM girl groups lack the most in stage presence. K-pop isn't mainstream at all here in the West, or at least in America. There's definitely still a huge stigma around it. However, some people make an exception for BTS and almost don't view them as K-pop, or they only think of how crazy the fandom is. I won't be considering K-pop mainstream unless I can go into a store and hear them bumping K-pop that is not BTS or Blackpink. Lisa can't sing. Stop trying to make vocalist Lisa happen. I know that Jennie can rap and sing. Lisa, on the other hand, can rap and she can hold a tune, but I am not going to be looking for her doing full-length vocalist covers. I watched the Say So cover. I felt like her voice was super nasally. Bighit only cares about Jungkook and Jimin. Obviously, they care to a certain extent about all the members. However, Jungkook and Jimin are the main ones that sing in all of their title tracks, and they get the most amount of screen time. And it's likely due to their individual popularity. However, they act like they're fucking allergic to giving Jin and V some shine on one of these title tracks. Stray Kids does not hit, like, at all. I do not know what it is you guys are hearing. I have tried to give them a chance multiple times, but literally I feel like they only have like 2 good title tracks. Eventually, JYP is gonna end up treating them like GOT7 though. Itzy versus Blackpink. I cannot get over the fact that y'all were getting on Itzy's head for having 2 comebacks with a Love Yourself theme. Meanwhile, Blackpink has consistently been releasing breakup songs for years, and nobody was clocking them for that. BP did get clocked for other things though, just not that specifically. Dynamite did not deserve a Grammy. Now, before you come attacking me in the comments, listen. Dynamite, the song, was wildly generic in its composition. I feel like this was a test to see what would happen if BTS were to release an all-English song, and it clearly paid off. The song went crazy, and I know this probably hurt BTS because their first all-English song is what got them a #1 and a Grammy nomination. People outside of the fandom even heard about this song. With that being said, Dynamite deserved a Grammy for its performance 100%. They performed this song multiple times and not one of those performances were like the other. However, the song itself was not going to get nominated in a Song of the Year category because this is 7 Korean men singing in English, as well as, like I said before, the song was very generic. While we're on the topic, K-pop versus the Grammys. I still have hope that one day BTS will get a Grammy, and it's mostly because the Grammys is dying out and losing credibility. And with that, and bigger names in the West have decided to either not come or to stop submitting their music altogether, which means they've lost some key players in what makes their award show interesting, as well as other big acts in America have come forward to talk about how corrupt the whole Grammy system is. With all that being said, as long as BTS has a big fan base, the Grammys is going to milk them for their views. If BTS does get a Grammy, I genuinely think it's going to be right before Jin enlists. However, I also want to talk about the possibility of Blackpink getting a Grammy. As of right now, it seems physically impossible, only because of one, they have a very limited discography. Due to YG's strategy of only giving them one comeback every year or so, it really hinders the chances. And since they never really come back with a full-length album, they cannot compete in the Album of the Year category. BP has charted on Billboard before, however, the longevity of their songs is usually very limited. There's probably only going to be 2 more Grammy ceremonies until BP could potentially disband, meaning BP only has 2 more comebacks at best before their time runs out. 2, these girls don't even go to Korean award shows. I can see YG may be making an effort to get them to the Grammys. However, it's more than likely the Grammys is only going to want to award people that are in the building, unless they have a massive name like Beyonce and Jay-Z. As far as SuperM goes, I think they're less likely to get a Grammy than Blackpink. If SM wanted a group that was big in the West and or Grammy-worthy, I think EXO would have a fair shot. Even though I know this isn't a possibility, EXO still has a massive fan base. If they were to have a full comeback with all the members, it could potentially be very lucrative for SM. Let's talk K-pop and Western collabs. I'm not completely for it, but I'm not completely against it if the collab is done correctly. I'm not an SM stan, but I do think that they know how to do an actual proper collab, because NCT Dream and Harvey's I Don't Need Your Love, as well as John Legend and Wendy's song was really good too. But notice how both of them got paid dust. I know BTS has collabed with Halsey and Sia and a few other artists, but those were like subunit songs. On featuring Sia just did not complement Sia's voice well, and then Halsey barely got any lines on Boy With Love. As far as Blackpink is concerned, I do like the song with Dua Lipa. I don't know why some people were hating on it. In my opinion, it's better than Ice Cream and it's better than Sour Candy. But maybe I'm a little biased because I do absolutely love Dua Lipa. And on top of that, I've said before I wish Blackpink would work with different producers, and I don't think Teddy is on this track. Let's talk Dala Dala. So some people have debates about who had the best debut in K-pop. But honestly, I think that if any other group was to debut with Dala Dala without that choreography, it would not go over very well. The only reason it was being celebrated is because they're under a big three company. If they were from a smaller company, I feel like they would just get hated on until they were forced to change their concept. Like, there's no way they would come back with Icy. They'd probably change it up completely. With all that being said, you have now reached the end of my video. I hope I didn't offend you too much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.